Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. In the previous episode, we spoke about the second verse of Surah Fatiha, which is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Today we'll speak about the third verse, which is Maliki Yawmiddin, the meaning of which is that He is the owner of the day of recompense. Now Allah mentioned His sovereignty and authority of the day of resurrection. This does not negate His ownership and authority over all the other things. Like initially in Surah Fatiha, Allah Ta'ala said, Rabbil Alameen, that He is the Lord of whatever has to exist, including this earthly life and the year after. Allah only mentioned the day of resurrection and the day of recompense because on that day, no one will have authority over anything except for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And no one will be allowed to speak except for Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Like there is this verse in the Holy Quran, يَوْمَ يَقُومُ الرُّوحُ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ صَفًّا لَا يَتَكَلَّمُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَذِنَ لَهُ الرَّحْمَنُ وَقَالَ صَوَابًا. On that day, Ar-Ruh, Jibreel alayhi salam, or another angel, and the angels will stand forth in rows, and they will not speak except when Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has to allow them to speak. And whoever will speak the right thing. Another place Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, وَخَشَعَتِ الْأَصْوَاتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ فَلَا تَسْمَعُ إِلَّا هَمْسًا. And all voices will be humbled for the most gracious, and nothing shall you hear but the low voice of their footsteps. In another place Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, يَوْمَ يَأْتِ لَا تَكَلَّمُ نَفْسٌ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ فَمِنْهُمْ شَقِيٌّ وَسَعِيدٌ. On that day, no soul will be allowed to speak except with the permission of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And amongst the people, there will be wretched people and blessed people. Now, let us understand the word Malik. Maliki Yawmiddin, the first word Malik. Malik means the owner of everything and everyone. And this quality only belongs to Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. That is why there is this hadith of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam where he said that the most disliked name to Allah is of that person who calls himself the King of the Kings, when the power only belongs to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah has praised Himself with this quality in many places in the Holy Quran. Like there's this verse in the Holy Quran where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, هُوَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا هُ. He is Allah, and there is none worthy of worship except for Allah, the King. In another place Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ. Whose kingdom is it today? لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَهَّارِ. It is for Allah. In one hadith, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, يَقْبِضُ اللَّهُ الْأَرْضَ وَيَتْوِي السَّمَاءَ بِيَمِينِهِ ثُمَّ يَقُولُ أَنَا الْمَلِكُ أَيْنَ مُلُوكُ الْأَرْضِ أَيْنَ الْجَبَّارُونَ أَيْنَ الْمُتَكَبِّرُونَ. That on the day of judgment, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will grasp the earth and fold the heavens with His right hand, and He will say, I am the King. Where are the kings of the earth? Where are the tyrants? Where are the arrogant ones? So this is the quality of Allah. As for calling someone other than Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala a king, it is done as a figure of speech. Like Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ بَعَثَ لَكُمْ طَالُوتَ مَلِكًا. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala appointed Talut as a king over you. In another place Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, وَكَانَ وَرَاءَهُمْ مَلِكٌ. And there was a king behind them. In another place Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, إِذْ جَعَلَ فِيكُمْ أَنْبِيَاءَ وَجَعَلَكُمْ مُلُوكًا. When He made prophets from amongst you and He made you kings. So this is the meaning of Malik. Inshallah, in the next episode we will discuss the word Yawm and Deen. Maliki Yawmiddin.